Just recently, Sony announced that we'd be getting a solo movie for a character that we've all known and loved for some time now. El Muerto.
Who?
There's a lot to cover, so just bear with me. The Estrada family has a long history of being the luchador El Muerto. The mask that they wear grants the user superhuman speed and strength. It was given to them by a mysterious wrestling god known as El Dorado. When Juan Carlos Estrada was a young man, his father offered him to face El Dorado in combat, just like his father did with him, so that he could inherit the mask. Juan had been training his entire life for this moment, but he was a bit of a softie, so he chickened out. After refusing to fight, El Dorado told Juan that his life would still be forfeit, but Juan's father, Marcus Estrada, the current El Muerto, defended his son and was decapitated in front of him. Out of respect for Marcus' sacrifice, the wrestling god gave Juan the mask and 10 years to hone his skills and prove that he is worthy of its power. At the end of the 10 years, he would have to find a masked hero, a true champion of the people, and humiliate and unmask him. If he succeeded, he would get to keep his powers, but if he failed, then he would be killed just like his father had. Toward the end of the 10 years, Juan had been following J. Jonah Jameson because of his obsession with Spider-Man. One night, he notices that Jameson and his son are being held hostage, so he breaks through their window and saves them. In return for saving their lives, Juan asks Jameson for a favor. That favor is to arrange a fight between him and Spider-Man. Jameson does this by sending a challenge to $1 million charity wrestling match through the Daily Bugle's billboard. Since Juan had just spent 10 years traveling the world and facing different opponents to become a better wrestler, he actually holds his own. Toward the end of the match, he has Spider-Man in a position to remove his mask, but Spider-Man's stingers involuntarily shoot out of his wrists and inject Juan's thigh with poison. Spider-Man then drops El Muerto off at the hospital, but it turns out that El Dorado had been watching the fight from the rafters. The wrestling god goes to Juan's room to claim his life, but Spider-Man crashes through the window and fights him off. At first, El Dorado assumes that El Muerto was just offering Spider-Man's life instead, so he decides not to kill him after all. In order to defeat the god, Spider-Man runs to a lab and begins mixing together some chemicals, but El Dorado quickly finds him. Just as he's about to attack Spidey again, El Muerto shows up and fights him off to buy time. It turns out that Spider-Man was mixing together chemicals that could eat through metals like platinum and gold, which El Dorado's suit happened to be made of. Before the wrestling god finishes whooping El Muerto's ass, Spider-Man splashes him with the chemicals and defeats him. The mysterious god vanishes, and at least for the moment, El Muerto would get to keep his powers.
Who?